जी, हेलो दोस्तों, मैं हूँ कमर चीमा। और दोस्तों, जैसा कि आप देख रहे हैं, मेरे साथ मौजूद हैं अरहमा सिद्दीक़ा। आप यंग रिसर्चर हैं और बड़ी एंथुसियास्ट हैं और बड़ा ज़बरदस्त काम कर रही हैं आजकल। मैंने और ये मिडल ईस्ट पे बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस है इनका। तो आई रिक्वेस्टेड हर टू हेल्प अस टू अंडरस्टैंड इंडिया यूएई रिलेशंस। थैंक यू अरहमा फॉर योर टाइम।
Thank you so much for having me.
तो अरहमा, इनफैक्ट इंडिया यूएई की बात जो है वो इस तरह चली क्योंकि रिसेंटली पाकिस्तान के वज़ीर आज़म शहबाज शरीफ साहब ने वहाँ पे कहा कि हमने यूएई अथॉरिटीज़ को कहा कि पाकिस्तान और जो है वो भारत की बात कराई जाए। आप कैसे देखती हैं यूएई का और इंडिया के रिलेशंस कैसे हैं? ज़रा हमें काइंडली थोड़ा सा इनलाइटन करें सो दैट वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि बहुत सारे लोगों का कहना है कि क्या यूएई उतनी लिवरेज रखता भी है इंडिया के ऊपर कि नहीं रखता, व्हाट प्राइम मिनिस्टर शहबाज शरीफ हैज जस्ट सेड। जी।
So I believe that what Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif ने अभी बात बोली, it's not really new, because अगर आपको याद हो 2019 में पुलवामा हुआ था, फिर उसके बाद हमारे diplomatic relations are very strained with India. Also, इंडिया की एब्रोगेशन जो हुई थी कश्मीर की 370A, वो भी हो गई थी अगस्त 2019 में। फिर उसके बाद 2020 फिर पूरा साल हमारी डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस आर वेरी स्ट्रेन्ड, but in 2021, certainly in February, and I believe Shah Mahmood Qureshi had gone to the UAE, and 3 days उनके आने के बाद both countries reaffirmed their LOC status 2003 का। तो उसमें हुआ कि एकदम कैसे होगी रिलेशनशिप था आगे थी। तो इन्होंने क्या किया, फिर स्टेटमेंट आई थी यूएई एम्बेसडर जो यूएस में थे कि यूएई का रोल था इस मीडिएशन में बिटवीन इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान। सो व्हाट Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said a couple of days ago is not new, because UAE, and I would say all the Gulf countries, not all the Gulf countries, but mainly Saudi Arabia, UAE, and to some extent Qatar, have that leverage when it comes to Pakistan and India as well. आपने इंडिया और यूएई की रिलेशंस की बात की, सो इंडिया एंड यूएई दे established relations in 1972, I believe, diplomatic relations, and उस वक्त से they've had regular high level exchanges between the two countries have taken place. For instance, in 2021, in October 2021, they had a strategic alliance इनकी I2U2 के नाम से फॉर्म हो गई है, यूएई, इंडिया, Israel and the US. ठीक है, that is also symbolic of the strong relations that they have come into a quad formation with these countries. Also, so I believe, so they have signed a partnership with the UAE, India and UAE. They have SEPA के नाम से है, Comprehensive Economic Strategic Partnership agreement. Pakistan is also in talks with the UAE. After this last report थी नवंबर में, इस पे काम हो रहा है, but India and the UAE have this alliance. UAE is also investing in infrastructure in India. Also, they are also investing in the agriculture sector of India as well, which is a huge niche. If and India, if it has tapped into the UAE market, it's huge for India. India is already a huge market, and this alliances will make it more strong. दूसरा, on the cultural front, both countries have a very strong relationship. UAE has also conferred its highest civilian award to Prime Minister Modi as well recently. So in recent years, and matlab they have a very strong, robust partnership. As far as how much leverage does UAE have over mediation between Pakistan and India, as I mentioned, it's not something new. It has happened in the past as well. And I would say, yes, it does have leverage in the sense कि अगर आप देखो जाए तो यूएई एंड सऊदी अरेबिया वगैरह के बीच में भी कंपटीशन हो रहा है. So, for example, if UAE does manage to mediate ties between India and Pakistan, that's a big check mark on its regional supremacy as well. in its own region. So yes, India and UAE have very strong relations, and yes, while in the short to medium term, mediation between India and Pakistan is not really plausible, because Pakistan has made it very clear that until Muslim rights are respected, and until the Kashmir issue is resolved, or at least some talks towards resolution of the Kashmir issue are going forward, mediation के उस तरह chances नहीं है. But in the long term, UAE could be, has the potential to be one of the countries, as it has done in the past as well, to mediate between India and Pakistan.
सो हमा थैंक यू, ये जो आपने हमें समझाया, ये बताइएगा कि ये हाउ डू यू सी द इकोनॉमिक रिलेशंस बिटवीन इंडिया एंड यूएई? एक तो आपने बताया कि जिस तरह प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी को हाईएस्ट अवार्ड मिला, पाकिस्तान में काफ़ी शोर मचा। अगर आपको याद हो तो हमने तो ये शोर मचा दिया कि ये क्या बात हुई। एक तरफ तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जो है उसने कश्मीर को हड़प कर लिया, उसका स्टेटस बदल दिया, और ये मुसलमान ममालिक क्या कर रहे हैं। एक बड़ी एंटी जो है अरब ओपिनियन भी पाकिस्तान में आई। लेकिन वो ऑब्वियसली समहाउ द पाकिस्तानीज मैनेज दैट। हाउ डू यू सी दी इंडिया एंड अमाराती की जो रिलेशंस हैं वो किस तरह के हैं? व्हाट इज़ योर टेक ऑन दैट? कितने को मजबूत हुए हैं, या आप समझती हैं कि बिकॉज आई एम टॉकिंग एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव दैट कि क्या पाकिस्तान उस लिवरेज को इस्तेमाल कर सकता है कि नहीं? दैट इज़ द सेंट्रल थिंग फॉर पाकिस्तान आई थिंक। सो बिकॉज पाकिस्तान वांट्स टू नॉर्मलाइज विद इंडिया, सो ये जो क्वेश्चन है कितने को इम्पोर्टेंट इकोनॉमिक रिलेशंस हैं?
I think, first of all, I think it's not about whether Pakistan wants to normalize with India. It's also, it goes both ways. Whether India wants to normalize with Pakistan, because at the end of the day, it's not about UAE, it's not about the US, it's not about any other third country. It's about India and Pakistan alone. And both countries do understand the fact that जब तक इन दोनों के बीच में there are at least trade relations, until there are some substantial relations premised on economics, both countries अपने पूरे रीजन को एक लॉक में किया हुआ है. सार्क, सैफ्टा, दे अमाउंट टू नथिंग. हालांकि सार्क हैज़ द पोटेंशियल टू बी वन ऑफ द स्ट्रॉन्ग multilateral forums in the world. But unfortunately, it's at a standstill right now because of the conflict between these two countries. So it's not about whether Pakistan wants it, it has to be from both sides at the end of the day. There has to be mutual respect, honestly, in that sense. Jitna UAE कर सकता है, if you're seeing how much of Pakistan can use the UAE's leverage, no, I respectfully disagree. It's about how both countries can use UAE as a potential mediator between them. UAE does have leverage um, over India, definitely, because itni investments हुई हैं UAE की India में. If I look at the Gulf countries, I would say um, relative comparison, Saudi Arabia has more leverage on Pakistan if I compare it to UAE. But yes, UAE has been kind enough to roll over the loans in the past. It has given us financial assistance. The UAE ambassador in Pakistan is very proactive on the on every front. Um, so I would say that UAE does have the potential, but only if both countries are willing to, come to the negotiating table, mutually respect each others' opinions, and then UAE can. Varna UAE alone cannot do anything, honestly.
नहीं नहीं, आई फुली अंडरस्टैंड, बट आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट इकोनॉमिक रिलेशंस किस तरह के हैं
हाँ जी,
इंडिया?
so जैसे I mentioned, so there are UAE is one of the most significant trading partners of India, one of the top 10 partners of India in economic terms. दूसरा है कि they have in 2013 they established UAE India higher level task force on investment, which is the main forum between the countries to promote economic ties and accelerate economic trade engagement between the two countries. Also, they have signed the CEPA agreement, जिसके under they have, they're working on an, they have an FTA also between them, and they're also working on how to, you know, progress the agricultural sector, because UAE, again, it's a Gulf country. It has security, food security issues, and India for the UAE is very tantamount and very, very significant in that respect, especially since the both countries have an FTA between them as well. In terms of remittances, of course, similar to Pakistan, India ke liye bhi remittance from the Gulf are very significant as well. I'll quote data from early 2022 in this. So we have around, we have 3.4 um, billion, I guess, million, sorry, 3.5 million expats, Indians live in the UAE alone, which comprises of 38% of the total population of the UAE as well. um, and 2022 की figures हैं कि at least 531.4 million dollars remittances आए हैं UAE alone से. So
कितनी रेमिटेंस है, सॉरी?
$531.4 million US dollars, which is a significant amount. Um, so UAE's इस तरह इनकी partnership ही है. Then they have a business council between them जो इनकी पूरी trade economic synergies को ढूंढता है, and they work towards creating a better business environment both for Indians in the UAE and Emiratis in India as well. um, then obviously they have good military engagement, good, but that again, military engagement hogi, but if there is a strong economic engagement between the two countries, that that supports all facets of any relationship as well. So yes, economic terms mein to they're very strong, and they're abhi bhi, it's a key investment area for the UAE. India is a key investment area, and अभी they're working towards the future as well कि 2023 में we will see more Emirati investments in India as well, especially in the food sector.
सो अरहमा, डू यू थिंक, सिंस यू लुकिंग मिडल ईस्ट, ये इज देयर एनी पॉसिबिलिटी कि अरब वर्ल्ड जो है वो पाकिस्तान में भी इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है? कल मैं देख रहा था कि सऊदी फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर वाज स्पीकिंग एट द डेवोस एंड दे वर सेइंग कि हम जो है वो ये ग्रांट्स वाला सिलसिला बंद हो गया और हम मल्टीलैटरल इंस्टीट्यूशंस की तरह पाकिस्तान को देखेंगे कि भाई बताओ ये तुम्हें दिया क्या किया है, क्योंकि बिकॉज वी आर
Mhm.
ऑल्सो टैक्सिंग आवर पीपल. सो ये जो चीज़ आप देख रही हैं कि कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट यूएई एंड सऊदी अरेबिया से इज गोइंग टू मेक एन इम्पैक्ट इन पाकिस्तान?
Uh, yes, I believe so because देखिए जो डिवोर्स में निकली है उनकी स्टेटमेंट आई है. Honestly, I would expect that from any country because there is no free lunch. Everything obviously अगर उन्होंने कहा ऐसे एड नहीं देंगे because especially after COVID-19, there has been a donor fatigue all over the world. Because of the donor fatigue, countries do want something in return as well, which is naturally, matlab, it's very natural for them to want them. Yes, coming from the Gulf countries, which are very rich, that's not natural, but still there is donor fatigue and they also want to see results. Uh, as far as you're saying about investment, definitely. So these, I would say, are I would confirm actually are investing in the special economic zones, not under CPEC. सेपरेट स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन्स जो हमारी SEC एक्ट है बोर्ड ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट की 2012 की, उसके अंडर दे वुड want to invest especially in the pharmaceutical and sports industries in Sialkot. There are already talks of setting up a refinery petrochemical complex in Hub Balochistan. Previously गवादर का था लेकिन अभी इन्होंने पिछले साल हब डिसाइड किया है, I guess October 2022 में. Again, UAE also wants to invest in the food. Food is the primary concern for both countries. So they would want to set up special economic zones which focus on food, helping. पाकिस्तान के लिए डेवलपमेंट टर्म्स में होगा, उन इन दो कंट्रीज़ के लिए होगा कि एटलीस्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ फूड सिक्योरिटी उनका वो मिटिगेट हो जाएगा कंसर्न. So yes, chances of investment this year are bright, again if there are efficient follow-ups from both sides.
बिल्कुल सही कह रही हैं, और मेरा ख्याल है जहाँ इन्वेस्टमेंट आनी चाहिए एफिशिएंटली तो उनको फॉलो करना चाहिए और उनको देखना चाहिए. बट ऑब्वियसली दिस इज़ अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सिचुएशन के एक फैक्टर जो है ये जो कल्चरल फैक्टर है, हाउ डू यू सी दिस इंडियन कल्चर? ये कहा जा रहा है कि बड़ा दैट इज बीइंग प्रमोटेड अ लॉट इन मिडल ईस्ट, इन यूएई एंड सऊदी अरेबिया. हाउ मच, जस्ट मेरे जहन में एक क्वेश्चन आ गया, हाउ डू यू थिंक, आपने कभी इस पे काम किया है कि हाउ इट इज़ बेसिकली गिविंग एन एक्सेस टू इंडिया? जैसे आपने कहा कि जो इंडियन पॉपुलेशन पर्टिकुलरली इन यूएई दैट मेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ, आई थिंक 38% आपने कहा कि पॉपुलेशन के इक्वल है. हाउ डू यू थिंक कि ये जो चीज़ है ये is a soft power for any country, and how do you think it is going to make an impact? Because जो पाकिस्तानी population वहाँ पे है, they look those countries, host countries from a religious lens, but those जो हैं, जो Indians and बाकी हैं, they will look those countries from a cultural lens. So ये जो difference है, how do you see this is going to make this make an impact?
So what Indian embassies in, I would say in the Gulf particularly, because I follow them at least, they're very proactive. They have soft power image. अगर आप देखा जाए, Indians have portrayed the yoga culture, which Modi also portrays. They have done that very effectively. Another example of close cultural ties, I would say, is, for example, in 2019, um, हर साल होता है अबू धाबी इंटरनेशनल बुक फेयर, तो उसमें इंडिया वाज अ गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर एज वेल. They have the two countries in February 2022, I believe, they have set up an Indian and UAE cultural council, which also promotes cross cultural activities, cultural projects, exhibitions, facilitates engagement between leaders and think tankers from both countries as well. Um, in the Indian embassy, one thing I've noticed is very proactive in showcasing its history, showcasing its organizing events to commemorate famous personalities, famous Indian historical figures. um, जैसे 2019 की एग्जांपल दिए, 2018 में, या आई रिमेंबर, अबू धाबी कल्चरल फेस्टिवल में इंडिया वाज द गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर इन दैट. Also they have, in even before that, they have a they have a program, it's called EPCC. So it's UAE India Executive Program for Cultural Cooperation. It was signed in 2016, and under its purview, a lot of activities also take place. So, as far as जैसे आपने कहा है कि religious terms में नहीं, but culturally, India has uh, worked very proactively when it comes to promoting its relations. I believe in all the Gulf countries, their embassies are very proactive.
Thank you very much, Hama. In fact, the purpose of today's discussion was to understand कि इंडिया यूएई के कैसे ताल्लुकात हैं, और जिस तरह के आपने कहा कि इट्स द लिवरेज ऑलवेज कम, कि क्या ये जो दिस इज़ अ टू वे ट्रैफिक, इंडिया और पाकिस्तान दोनों चाहते हैं कि ताल्लुकात बेहतर हों, लेकिन मेरा ख्याल है इस वक्त शायद पाकिस्तान की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है, एंड इंडिया थोड़ा केयर कम कर रहा है, बिकॉज उनको ये है कि पाकिस्तान इज़ इन नीड कि वो नॉर्मलाइज चीज़ें हों वहाँ पे. Anyhow, thank you very much for your time and for your valuable comments.
Thank you so much.